Hey guys, happy Sunday. This is a total spur of the moment video, so bear with me as I try to explain my thoughts right now. But I just got back from church and I've really been struggling lately with kind of acknowledging what God is saying to me. I've always kind of wondered, like you hear stories of people that are like, oh, God is telling me this and God is telling me that, and I've always kind of wondered, like, what does that look like? Like for me, I don't hear God's audible voice. I don't have this, like, sometimes I don't know if what I think he's saying to me is what he's saying to me. So that's something recently, especially, that I've kind of been struggling with, like, God, are you telling me this? Or, what are you really telling me? But at church today, I just really felt a new sense of God, because the sermon that our pastor was speaking was exactly what I needed to hear. We're talking about Habakkuk, and I don't know if any of you are familiar with this chapter of the Bible. I definitely wasn't before we started going through it at church. But basically, it starts with Habakkuk being told that his city is going to be just attacked by the Babylonians, and, they have no shot. The Babylonians are terrifying, scary, and God is telling him this is what's going to happen. And instead of, being faithful, his first reaction is just to complain and to ask God why, and, to just not trust, what God is doing. And he doesn't think that there's a purpose. But as he goes through this walk with God, and he really just kind of meditates on his word and spends time with him, he realizes that God is so faithful. And so then as you go further in the chapter, he talks about God's faithfulness, and how this terrible thing is going to happen to them, and yet God is so faithful, and he's got it all taken care of. And I talked a little bit about this in my video on intentionality, but I just have really struggled lately with what God is doing in my life, because it's not what I wanted, and it's not what I thought was supposed to happen. And just hearing this story today, I'm not going through anything near what Habakkuk, was going through, but it comes down to faith and trusting that even though you're going through something that's not what you want, God's still right there, and God's got a plan. And that's another thing, is I've been kind of struggling to feel God's presence with me. Like, I feel like I'm talking to the air sometimes. And I just want to encourage you, because sometimes you don't hear God, or you don't feel God, because you're not listening, or you're not, searching for him. And today I decided that I wanted to search for him. I wanted to feel him, and I just surrendered to God. And I don't think I've ever felt his presence more than I did in church today. This is tough. I got emotional because I felt God standing right next to me, and I can't even explain it, but it felt to me like there was someone right there next to me. As I was, in worship, I just felt God right there with me, and I knew that this next step in my life is completely in God's control. I'm realizing, because I let him be right there with me, that I don't have to have it all under control. I don't have to know, because God does. And the cherry on the top was, as I was walking out of church, a lady that was sitting in front of me, she had overheard me talking to our young adult pastor, and she just said, "You have a great day." And I said, "Oh, thanks, you too." And she said, "I'm praying for you." And just, I felt God saying, I'm looking out for you. And this woman doesn't know me, and I don't even think I've ever seen her at church, but God sent her to, just encourage me. And to give me that hope that he's right here with me. So I just want to encourage you, if you feel like God's not there, ask him to come sit next to you, because he will. He's already there, but you just have to, you just have to feel him and see him and seek him, and that's how you're gonna do that. So I'm wishing you the best Sunday, and read your Bible today, spend some time with the Lord. Love you guys.